Y'all are not ready for this one. Claressa Shields just dropped a bombshell nobody saw coming. She announced a baby with Papoose. But the real shocker? Remy Ma walked in on the moment it all went down. And what happened next left the whole room in tears. This is messy, heartbreaking, and explosive all at once. Let's break it all down. Y'all are not ready for this one. Claressa Shields just dropped a bombshell that has the entire hip-hop and boxing world in absolute shock. The undefeated champion, known as the GWOAT of women's boxing, suddenly revealed that she's expecting a baby. But here's where the drama takes a wild turn. She didn't just make the announcement in private, she made it right in the presence of Papoose. And the way she revealed it left everyone stunned, because Papoose wasn't just smiling. He was standing right beside her like he already knew. Now, if that wasn't enough to set the internet on fire, imagine the exact moment when Remy Ma, Papoose's wife of over a decade, walked in on what was happening. The woman who has built her brand on loyalty, family, and being a ride-or-die partner suddenly saw her husband wrapped in an announcement that nobody could have predicted. And Remy's reaction? She didn't scream, she didn't lash out. She broke down in tears. It's when things went from shocking to heartbreaking. Because it wasn't just a scandal anymore, which was the unraveling of one of hip-hop's most respected families. But before we get deeper into that, let's rewind and really break down how all of this even came to light. Because this isn't just some random rumor floating around. This is Claressa Shields, an athlete at the top of her game, linking herself to one of rap's most legendary couples. And the way she's stepping into this narrative has people divided. Is she a victim? Is she telling her truth? Or is she inserting herself into a marriage that was already fragile? Claressa has always been outspoken, whether it's calling out opponents in the ring or clapping back at critics on social media. She's never been the type to hold her tongue, and fans actually love her for it. But recently, people started noticing subtle shifts in her online behavior. She was posting cryptic messages about new beginnings, about protecting what's growing inside of me, and about loyalty being tested. At first, folks thought it was just motivation before her next big fight. But then a photo surfaced Claressa with Papoose, both of them smiling in what looked like a private setting. Not just a casual fan, meet dash and dash greet. That photo sent the blogs into overdrive. People were already speculating, why are Claressa and Papoose hanging out so often? What's the connection? And remember, Papoose isn't just a rapper. He's built his image around being the ultimate family man. The one who stood by Remy Ma when she served 6 years in prison. His loyalty was the stuff of legend. So when the photo came out, people defended him instantly, saying it had to be innocent, probably a business collab. Maybe he was mentoring Claressa on music, since she's dabbled in entertainment outside boxing. Nobody wanted to believe there could be more. But then came the announcement. In a private gathering, which of course someone recorded on their phone, Claressa stood up, placed her hand on her stomach, and revealed that she was expecting. And the words that fell from her mouth had everybody gasping. She said, "This isn't just my blessing, it's ours." And she looked directly at Papoose. You could literally hear the room go silent. People didn't know if they should clap, cry, or just walk out. Papoose tried to smile, but it was that kind of nervous smile, like he wasn't sure how much longer this secret could stay hidden. And that's when the door opened. That's when Remy Ma herself walked in. Now picture this, a room full of people. Frozen in shock, Claressa glowing with her announcement, Papoose standing awkwardly, and then Remy's eyes locking onto the scene. For years, she has been portrayed as the strong one, the queen of resilience. The woman who overcame prison, industry, politics, and betrayal. But in that moment, all that strength cracked. She covered her face, tears streaming down, and the silence in the room turned into whispers. Some rushed to comfort her, others just stood there like they were witnessing history fall apart. And what's wild is that Remy had been through whispers of cheating before. Last year, rumors exploded online about her and Easy, the block captain, a battle rapper people claimed she was too close to. She denied. Papoose defended, and fans chalked it up to haters trying to destroy a black power couple. But now those tables are flipped. The very man who was praised for loyalty is suddenly in the middle of a storm. With Claressa Shields as the unexpected storm-bringer, people on social media instantly divided into camps. Some said Remy deserved it, that karma had come back around, because of her alleged ties to Easy. Others were furious at Claressa, calling her a homewrecker and demanding she respect another woman's marriage. And then there's the group defending Claressa, arguing that she wouldn't make such a bold announcement unless she was 100% sure of her truth, unless she knew she had proof to back it up. And here's the kicker: this isn't just gossip. Claressa, being who she is, doesn't shy away from confrontation. Insiders claim she told close friends weeks ago that she was done hiding, that she wasn't going to let anyone paint her as the villain when she was just living her reality. If that's true, then she walked into that room fully prepared for the world to know. Meanwhile, Papoose is in the most uncomfortable position of his life. For years, he's been the blueprint of loyalty in hip-hop. Songs, interviews, even memes painted him as the gold standard of how a man should stand by his woman. But now, his silence, his half-smiles, his lack of denial, it's speaking louder than words. Because instead of immediately shutting the rumors down, instead of instantly defending Remy, he's just there, standing next to Claressa, letting her words hang in the air. And that silence, that's what's killing people the most. As for Remy, her breakdown in that room wasn't just about Claressa or the pregnancy. It was about the image, the brand, the empire she and Papoose built together being shattered in front of everyone. This wasn't a private fight at home. This wasn't whispers they could brush off. This was public humiliation, and it cut deep. Fans who saw the leaked clip said Remy looked like a woman who had just been blindsided by her worst nightmare. And in hip-hop culture, where reputation is everything, that kind of moment doesn't just go away, lingers, it stains. Now, the question everyone is asking is simple. How long has this been going on? Claressa and Papoose didn't just meet yesterday. Were they secretly together for months? Did Remy have any idea? Or is this something brand new that just exploded before anyone could contain it? Nobody has the full timeline yet, but one thing is certain: the truth is going to come out. And when it does, it could shake the foundations of two industries at once. Because this isn't just about a love triangle. This is about hip-hop royalty colliding with a sports icon, about loyalty versus betrayal, and about how quickly a family's legacy can unravel in the age of social media. Claressa's announcement wasn't just personal, it was strategic. She knew people would talk, she knew cameras would be rolling, and she knew the reaction would be unforgettable. And in that sense, she was right. The clip is already viral. The debates are raging. And everyone is waiting for Remy Ma's next move. But one thing's for sure, this is only the beginning. The fallout from Claressa Shields' shocking announcement is nothing short of catastrophic. The moment that video clip leaked online, it felt like the internet went into meltdown. Within minutes, every gossip, blog, Twitter page, and YouTube commentator was dissecting every second of that announcement frame by frame, trying to figure out what was really going on. And the reactions? Explosive. One camp of fans immediately went after Claressa, accusing her of being out of pocket for standing so proudly with Papoose. They said it was one thing to have a relationship in the shadows, but to publicly announce a pregnancy with someone else's husband in front of the entire world was pure disrespect. But Claressa's supporters came back swinging, claiming she was simply speaking her truth and exposing a situation that was already happening behind closed doors. They said she wasn't trying to be messy, she was just tired of hiding. And here's where things start to get really complicated. Remy Ma has built her career and personal brand around being authentic, tough, and resilient. For years, she and Papoose were the model couple of hip-hop. Even when the industry was plagued by cheating scandals, divorces, and toxic breakups, Remy and Papoose stood tall as proof that loyalty could still exist. They weren't just husband and wife, they were a business, a unit, a legacy. Their marriage was celebrated on reality TV, in music, and even in interviews. Fans looked up to them. So when this scandal broke out, it wasn't just a personal betrayal, which public betrayal. The first wave of reactions from the hip-hop community was stunned silence. Nobody wanted to comment at first because this wasn't just a rumor, it was captured on video. But soon enough, people started talking. Some rappers who were close to the couple allegedly reached out to Remy privately, offering support. A few insiders even claimed that Fat Joe, Remy's longtime brother in music, was furious and promised to confront Papoose directly. Remember, Fat Joe has always been protective of Remy, treating her like family. And to see her blindsided in public like that cut deep for him. Meanwhile, Papoose himself stayed silent. He didn't post. He didn't deny. He didn't confirm nothing. And that silence became a problem because in scandals like these, silence is seen as guilt. Fans expected him to immediately shut it all down if it wasn't true. But instead, his quietness only fueled the fire. And Claressa wasn't backing down either. Insiders claim that right after the announcement, she posted a cryptic message online saying, "The truth don't need defending, speaks for itself." That alone was enough to make people believe that she wasn't bluffing. She had receipts. She was willing to use them. But let's talk about Remy in the middle of all this. Witnesses from that event said she was inconsolable. Imagine walking into a room and hearing your husband's name tied to another woman's pregnancy. She didn't lash out at Claressa. She didn't get physical, she cried. And that image of Remy crying stuck with people because she's known for her toughness, her ability to handle anything thrown her way. To see her so vulnerable broke the internet's heart. Memes, tweets, and even fan videos poured out, calling for people to respect her privacy and not turn her pain into entertainment. But of course, the internet doesn't stop for anyone now. Here's the irony: just a year ago, Remy herself was accused of being too close to battle rapper Easy, the Block Captain. Rumors swirled that she was mentoring him in more ways than one, and people speculated that Papoose even confronted him behind the scenes. At the time, Remy denied everything, saying people just couldn't stand to see her supporting younger talent. But now, people are dragging those old rumors back into the spotlight. Some are even calling this situation karma, suggesting that what Remy allegedly did has now come full circle. But whether or not those rumors were true, the difference here is crystal clear. This time there's a pregnancy announcement involved. This isn't just whispers. This is life-changing. And speaking of life-changing, think about the child in the middle of all this. Claressa is saying she's expecting, which means if this is true, her and Papoose's lives are permanently tied together. No matter what happens with Remy, no matter how much damage control is attempted, a child is forever. And that raises a whole new set of questions. How will this affect Papoose's marriage? Will Remy walk away? Or will she try to fight for her family? And where does Claressa fit in a triangle this messy? What's even crazier is the way fans are pulling up old clips of Papoose praising Remy in interviews. He often said she was his queen, the love of his life, the reason he never strayed. People are now putting those clips side by side with Claressa's announcement, saying, so what happened to all that loyalty? It's damaging his reputation fast, because Papoose wasn't just a rapper, he was a symbol. And symbols falling always hit harder. At the same time, Claressa is catching heat from outside the hip-hop world. Boxing fans are torn, with some saying this scandal is a distraction from her career, while others believe it's proof of her confidence. If she can face her opponents in the ring, she can face her critics outside it too. But make no mistake, her brand is on the line. Claressa is seen as the voice of women in sports, someone who always stood for empowerment. But now, critics are accusing her of tearing down another woman in the process. Industry insiders are also saying this might spiral into legal territory. Think about it. Remy and Papoose have built businesses together, properties, and endorsements. If this scandal pushes Remy toward divorce, the financial implications could be massive. Not to mention if Claressa's announcement brings lawsuits for defamation, or on the flip side, if she provides evidence proving her claims, things could get even uglier. But let's zoom in on the emotional side, because that's what's really driving the story. Remy is reportedly devastated. Friends close to her say she feels humiliated, not just betrayed. To be blindsided like that in front of people with phones recording, that's the kind of trauma that doesn't fade. And Claressa's boldness in saying it's ours while looking at Papoose was a dagger. It wasn't vague, it wasn't subtle, it was intentional. She wanted people to know exactly who she was talking about. Now the big question is, what's next? Fans are demanding statements. They want to hear from Remy. They want to hear from Papoose. They want Claressa to either show proof or clarify her words. And the longer the silence stretches, the louder the speculation becomes. Some even believe that Claressa might drop exclusive receipts, text seeds, photos, maybe even videos that prove her connection to Papoose. And if that happens, it could destroy whatever is left of his marriage. The hip-hop community is already bracing for impact. Other couples in the industry are being compared. People are rehashing old scandals, and the conversation about loyalty in relationships is back in the spotlight. Everyone's asking, if Papoose could fall, who's really safe? And don't forget, there's also pressure on Claressa to keep her focus on boxing. She's scheduled to fight again soon, and critics are already wondering if this scandal will distract her. But if you know Claressa, you know she thrives off proving people wrong. If anything, she might use this as fuel, stepping into the ring with even more fire than before. But the question remains, will the audience cheer for her, or will they boo her for stepping into a marriage and tearing apart a family? What makes this entire scandal so gripping is the fact that no one saw it coming. Remy and Papoose were supposed to be untouchable. Claressa was supposed to be focused on cementing her legacy as one of the greatest athletes of all time. And yet, their worlds collided in a way that left everyone stunned. And as messy as it already is, insiders warn that the real storm hasn't even hit yet. Because when Remy Ma decides to speak, when she finally breaks her silence, the entire narrative could shift. Will she expose Papoose for betrayal? Will she call Claressa out? Or will she shock us all by standing by her man once again, choosing loyalty over pride? The whole world is watching, the world is waiting for the final chapter in this shocking saga, and let's be clear, what's happening right now is bigger than gossip. This is about betrayal, legacy, and the future of one of hip-hop's most respected families. The fallout from Claressa Shields' announcement hasn't slowed down, it's only getting louder. And as the dust begins to settle, the question on everyone's lips is the same. What's Remy Ma going to do now? 'Cause if we know anything about Remy, it's that she doesn't stay down for long. She's been through prison, she's battled against the industry itself, and she's rebuilt her career, when most people thought she was finished. That's why her silence right now is deafening. She hasn't posted, she hasn't clapped back, and she hasn't released a statement. But insiders close to her claim that Remy is preparing something big. Some say she's working with her legal team. Others say she's planning to break her silence in a powerful interview that will set the record straight. And knowing Remy, she's not going to let the world define her story. She's going to tell it herself. Meanwhile, Claressa isn't backing down either. Reports say she's been in constant communication with her camp, deciding how to handle the backlash. For every fan dragging her name online, there are others praising her for standing strong. She's reportedly telling people that she's not stealing anybody's man, that what she has is real. And she's not going to let the public shame her into silence. And that's the thing. Claressa's entire career has been about breaking barriers, proving doubters wrong, and refusing to bow down. So for her, this isn't just drama, it's another fight. But while Claressa is fighting for her truth, Papoose is fighting for his reputation, and right now, he's losing badly. His image as hip-hop's most loyal husband is hanging by a thread. Blogs are digging up every old quote, every interview, every lyric where he praised Remy and loyalty, and they're throwing it back in his face. Memes are everywhere, calling him the last loyal man who wasn't loyal after all. And it's devastating his brand, because Papoose wasn't just respected for his music, he was respected as a man. And when a man loses that respect in this culture, it's almost impossible to get it back. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Industry insiders are whispering that Claressa might have more than just her word. Rumors are spreading that she has text messages, photos, maybe even videos that could prove her relationship with Papoose has been going on longer than anyone realized. If she chooses to release that evidence, it would destroy any chance Papoose has of denying the situation. And if that happens, Remy would be left with no choice but to either walk away or accept that her marriage has been permanently altered. But don't think for a second that Remy is going to let this break her without a fight. Remember, she's been painted as the villain before people said she was too hard, too aggressive, too quick to anger. She knows what it's like to be judged unfairly, and she knows how to flip the narrative. That's why some fans believe she's going to use this scandal to her advantage. Imagine Remy dropping a record, a freestyle, a diss track that cuts straight through both Papoose and Claressa. That would be classic Remy taking her pain and turning it into power. And honestly, the culture would eat it up. But then again, Remy also has to think about her family. She and Papoose share children, and no matter what happens between them, those kids are watching. That's why some insiders believe she'd take the quieter route, filing for divorce, cutting ties behind the scenes and rebuilding her empire without the drama. Either way, her decision is going to be one of the most important moves of her career. As for Claressa, she might be stepping into dangerous territory. While she's strong enough to handle criticism, the hip-hop world can be brutal, especially when fans feel like someone is destroying a beloved couple. Claressa is used to battling opponents in the ring, but this is different. This is about public opinion, and public opinion can be just as vicious as any opponent. Already, sponsors are allegedly questioning her marketability. If she becomes too controversial, brands may hesitate to work with her. That's the double-edged sword of fame. The same boldness that makes you a star can also turn the world against you. And we can't forget about the bigger picture here. This scandal isn't just affecting the three people at the center, it's shaking the culture. Hip-hop couples like Beyoncé and Jay-Z, Cardi B and Offset, even smaller industry relationships are being compared and analyzed. People are asking, if Papoose can fold, who can we really trust? It's sparking conversations about loyalty, about marriage, about whether ride or die love really exists in the industry. And those conversations aren't going to disappear anytime soon. Now, let's talk about what could happen next. There are three possible outcomes, and each one is explosive. First scenario, Remy forgives Papoose. It would shock everyone, but it's not impossible. She might choose to stand by him once again, showing the world that her family comes first. If she does this, it would repair Papoose's image a little, but it would also raise questions about her self-respect. Would fans see her as strong for holding her family together, or weak for staying with a man who embarrassed her? Second scenario, Remy walks away. She could file for divorce, cut ties, and rebuild her life without Papoose. If this happens, it would devastate his reputation permanently while boosting hers. She'd be praised as a woman who refuses to accept betrayal, and her story of resilience would only grow stronger. Claressa, however, would become even more controversial because people would blame her for the breakup of a legendary marriage. Third scenario, Claressa drops receipts. If she proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that she and Papoose have been together, everything changes. Papoose would be finished in the eyes of the public. Remy would be painted as the betrayed wife, and Claressa would be both villain and victor. The scandal would reach a level we haven't seen in years, and it would dominate headlines for months. But no matter which path this story takes, the truth is clear. Nothing will ever be the same. Remy and Papoose's perfect image has been shattered. Claressa's reputation has been forever tied to hip-hop drama. And fans who once believed in love and loyalty are now left questioning everything. It's the kind of story that feels like a movie, but it's real life. Three powerful figures caught in a storm of love, betrayal, and ambition. And as much as people are hurting for Remy, as much as they're dragging Claressa, and as much as they're clowning Papoose, the world can't look away. Because deep down, scandals like this remind us of one truth. Even the strongest-looking empires can crumble in an instant. And in the middle of it all, one image remains burned into everyone's memory. Remy Ma walking into that room, seeing the unthinkable unfold before her eyes and breaking down in tears. That moment says it all. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of a new chapter for all three of them. And whether it's forgiveness, divorce, or full-blown war, one thing is certain: the world will be watching every single move. Because when the GWOAT of boxing, one of hip-hop's most loyal husbands and a rap queen collide in a scandal, this big history doesn't just get made, okay? It gets rewritten. And there you have it, family. This story is far from over. The drama between Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma is only heating up. And you know the receipts, the clapbacks, and the shocking twists are coming sooner rather than later. But I want to hear from you. Do you think Claressa is telling the truth and standing in her power? Or is she stepping way out of line by inserting herself into Remy and Papoose's marriage? Should Remy walk away for good? Or will she stand by her man one more time? Drop your thoughts.